Good morning. It is time for a fabulous Friday. High five. Let's come up a little bit higher in the things of God. I woke up this morning wondering, I wonder what this is on the Hebraic calendar. Today is, I don't know if you wake up with things like that, but it's kind of the way my brain works. Today is June 26th, but on the Hebrew calendar it is Tammuz 4. Nothing really happened. They don't write here that this is the time that Aaron was making the golden calf for the people to dance around, and it doesn't say that this is the time that the 12 spies were in the Promised Land for the first several days. Remember, the first week of 40 days in the Promised Land, spying out the land. It doesn't say that, but if you go to AISH, and Sandy, I think you would really like going to the AISH.com/DIJH, and it means Day in Jewish History. And then you can research what happened on that day in history. So one thing is, today the 12 spies were spying out the land. They were seeing giants. They were seeing a lot for the first time. And Moses was still on the mountain, and they were getting pretty concerned that he was not going to come down. It's going to be another 2 weeks before Moses comes down off the mountain and sees him dancing with the golden calf. But I want to tell you what is happening Sunday on Tammuz 6. This is the anniversary, and in July 4th, on 1976, this was Tammuz 6. So you remember that the Jewish calendar and the Hebraic calendar don't line up. Because one has 360 days, the other one has 365 days. One has a whole month of leap year, the other one has a 1 day of leap year. And so on Tammuz 6 and July 4th, 1976, as America was celebrating its bicentennial, Israeli commandos performed a spectacular raid to rescue 100 Jews held hostage at Entebbe Airport in Uganda. Do you remember that? There's a movie called Raid to Entebbe, and it's all true story, and it's a fabulous movie. It's old, but it's worth researching and finding. I'd love to have that in my library. 1 week earlier, the Air Force flight was hijacked by Palestinian terrorists who landed the plane in Uganda with the support of dictator Idi Amin. Idi Amin, I remember him. The terrorists threatened to kill the Jewish hostages if the Israeli government did not release convicted Palestinian terrorists. It's amazing that they never have anything about Israeli terrorists, but then they call them terrorists. They have a lot of Palestinian terrorists, but they don't call them terrorists. Twisted world. Okay. Amazingly, the flight crew voluntarily chose to stay with the Jewish captives rather than be released upon their return to Paris. They were reprimanded by the Air France, of course, executives, and temporarily suspended from their duty. See, they weren't Jewish, but they stayed with the Jews. They chose to stay with the Jews. The government of Israel refused to negotiate with terrorists and quickly planned a rescue mission. Conveniently, I think with the help of angels, Israel had the blueprints for the building in which the hostages were held. It was built by an Israeli construction firm. Isn't that something God knew in advance? 200 Israeli soldiers had flown to Entebbe. They brought along a black Mercedes disguised to look like Idi Amin's personal car. The raid took a total of 58 minutes, in which all the terrorists were killed, and all but 3 of the hostages were safely rescued. The raid, dubbed Operation Thunderbolt, was subsequently renamed Operation Jonathan, after Colonel Jonathan Netanyahu, who is a brother of Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. He was the leader of the raid and the only Israeli soldier killed. I love to look at history. And so that is a history of what happened with the Jewish people on the 6th, which is our Sunday. So I hope you have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye.